Everybody carries pain. Every single person in this earth has scars. We all have things that happen to us that we did not choose. We all have moments in life where the world felt unfair, where someone hurt us, where life took something from us that we loved. And those moments leave marks. They leave memories. They leave feelings that sometimes stay with us for years. But here is the important truth: what happened to you is not who you are. Your trauma is not your identity. It is part of your story, but it is not the whole book. Today I see people everywhere who make their trauma their name tag. They say, "I am this way because of what happened to me." They carry their trauma like a badge. And I understand why. When something hurts that deeply, you want the world to know. You want the world to see the weight you carry. You want to explain why you act the way you do. But trauma is not meant to be a life sentence. It is not the final definition of you. It is not the prison you must live inside forever. Most traumas are not who you are. They are simply stress that was too much for you to carry at the time. That's all it is. Back then, maybe you were too young. Maybe you didn't have the wisdom. Maybe you didn't have the strength. Maybe you didn't have the support. And so, the moment broke you. But today, you are not the same person. You have more strength now. You have more tools. You have more understanding. What was too heavy back then may not be too heavy for you today. Think about moments in your past when you made mistakes. Maybe you feel guilty. Maybe you feel ashamed. Maybe you feel like you weren't enough. But in that moment, you made the best choice you could with what you had. You did not know what you know today. You could not act with wisdom you had not yet learned. And so punishing yourself forever makes no sense. You were doing your best. You could not have done more. That's the truth. We are not frozen creatures. We are not statues. We are alive. We change. We grow. We evolve. And the whole purpose of trauma is not just to hurt you, it is to give you a chance to grow beyond it. There is something called post-traumatic growth. That means that after the pain, if you choose, you can become stronger, deeper, wiser, and more compassionate than you were before. But if you only keep repeating the story of your trauma, you rob yourself of that growth. You stay trapped in the past. Why do we do this? Why would we hold on to pain instead of letting it go? Because pain meets needs. Let me explain. Every human has 6 basic needs. 1. Certainty, the need to feel safe, to know what will happen. 2. Uncertainty, the need for surprise, variety, excitement. 3. Significance, the need to feel special, unique, important. 4. Love and connection, the need to bond and belong. 5. Growth, the need to develop, to become more. 6. Contribution, the need to give and serve. Now here's the secret: trauma can meet these needs. Trauma gives you significance. Your pain makes you feel unique. Trauma gives you variety, because it shakes up your world. Trauma gives you connection, because people gather around you when you hurt. So even though trauma feels terrible, it feeds the mind in strange ways. That's why people hold on to it. But here's my question to you: do you want to keep feeding your life with pain, or do you want to build your life on joy, love, and growth? Think of it like a movie. Imagine the story starts like this: the main character is happy, rich, healthy, in love, and everything is perfect. Then the movie goes on. They get even happier, even richer, even healthier, even more in love. And it ends with everything still perfect. Would you watch that movie? No. Nobody would. Because what makes a story powerful is conflict. It is challenge. It is struggle. Without the obstacle, there is no victory. Without the dark, the light cannot shine as bright. This is why so many of us create drama in our own lives. We stir up conflict. We repeat old fights. We hold on to old wounds. Because it makes us feel alive. It makes the story exciting. But I want to offer you a better way. Instead of living inside the old story of your pain, let the challenge be the pursuit of your goals. Let the conflict be the obstacles you face while chasing your dreams. That way, the story of your life is not about what broke you, but about what built you. At any moment, you can draw a line in the sand and say, I am more than my memories. I am more than what happened to me. I am more than my trauma. And it's true. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are the author of your future. But in our culture today, especially with young people, we have built a world where everyone expects protection from every hard word. We talk about trigger warnings. We tell people to avoid anything that might upset them. And in doing so, we make people weaker. Because the truth is this, a trigger is not something to avoid. A trigger is a signal. It is a message saying, here is where you need to grow. If you avoid every trigger, your world shrinks smaller and smaller until you are trapped in fear. And I have seen people who have lost everything. Their money, their homes, even the people they loved most. And you know what? They survived. Some of them didn't just survive, they thrived. They built something new. They grew stronger. That means you can too. No matter what you've lost, you can rise again. Some of you here are givers. You love to help others. You carry responsibility for many people. You are always caring for others, but you forget yourself. And the only time you finally take care of yourself is when you are so broken, so exhausted, that you have no choice. That is not the way to live. That is not sustainable. You do not need to wait until you collapse to show yourself love. Every struggle you face is a call. A call to your spirit to claim more of who you really are. Think of it like lifting weights. If you pick up a tiny weight and do it 100 times, you don't grow. You just maintain. But if you pick up a heavy weight, one that feels almost impossible, and you push past your limit, that is where growth happens. Your emotional and spiritual life works the same way. The heavy struggles, the big challenges, those are the weights that build your soul. And let me tell you, real happiness doesn't come from everything being easy. It doesn't come from having no problems. Real happiness comes from growth. From the sense that you are becoming more than you were yesterday. That is where fulfillment lives. I remember when I traveled to India. I visited the holy city of Varanasi. For over 4,000 years, people have gone there to die. They believe if you die there, your soul is freed. Day and night, fires burn by the river. Families bring the bodies of their loved ones, dip them in the Ganges River, and burn them on great piles of wood. And what shocked me most was not the fire, not the ashes, but the faces of the people. They were not crying. They were not broken. They were smiling. I remember seeing a young boy playing near the fire. He had a stick in his hand, and he was smiling as he pushed his grandfather's leg deeper into the flames. Think about that. In the West, we would be horrified. We would be in tears. But for him, it was joy. It was freedom. Why? Because his belief told him that the body is nothing, that the spirit is free, that death is not an end but a doorway. It reminded me, our beliefs shape our emotions. Our beliefs create our reality. In the West, people get angry if their burger doesn't have the right sauce. In the East, I saw people with nothing, people on the street, people dying, yet they were filled with joy. The beauty of the West is achievement. We can create, we can build, we can make things happen. The beauty of the East is inner peace. The secret is you don't have to choose one or the other. You can have both. You can have success outside and peace inside. So I tell you this, beliefs are powerful. They can make you suffer, or they can set you free. If you believe your trauma defines you, then you will live small. If you believe your trauma was fuel to grow, then you will live free. Gratitude is the key. Gratitude turns everything into a gift. Today, I cry more than ever, but they are not tears of sadness. They are tears of grace. Tears of thankfulness. I look back at my life, and I see how easily it could have gone differently. I see how many times I was guided. I see how many times grace carried me. And I know pain could have destroyed me. But instead, it grew me. So I ask you to consider this. Maybe the stories people tell you about trauma are not the whole story. Maybe they are sincere, but they are not healed yet. If you accept their half-healed story, you might take on their pain instead of your own freedom. Be a thinker. Be someone who questions what things mean. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that controls your life is the meaning you give to things. You are a meaning maker. You can choose a meaning that lifts you up instead of a meaning that drags you down. Yes, you will still feel pain sometimes. Yes, you will still remember. But you don't have to live there. You can use the pain instead of letting it use you. If you keep replaying the same pain, telling the same story, living in the same fear, that is a signal. It is a call to grow. It is a call to face what you are afraid of. And when you finally face it, you will discover it is never as bad as the story in your head. And when you see that, you will feel free. Now is the time to claim that freedom. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. If not now, when? You have been through too much to live small. You have been through too much to live afraid. The fact that you are here right now proves that there is more for you. Life is not done with you yet. Don't forget, life is filled with miracles. Every breath is a miracle. Every sunrise. Every friend. Every opportunity. But when you focus only on your pain, you miss the miracle. You trade the gift of life for the cage of memory. And here is the greatest truth: when you survive spiritual pain, the kind of pain that feels unfair, unbearable, overwhelming, you gain spiritual strength. A strength that people who have never faced it will never understand. You build muscles of the soul. You build pride that cannot be taken away. That is the gift of trauma. That is the value of extreme stress. So today I say to you, you are not your trauma. You are not your story. You are not your pain. You are the one who rose. You are the one who lived. You are the one who grew. And your best chapter is still being written.
Please like and subscribe for more videos.